couldn't help but notice the beauty in you. There are lines of age. I'm not concerned with whether I lose money on this building. I don't do it as an effort to make money. I do it as an effort to restore a piece of history. These arches in here, and that was uncovered as we took the plaster off. I like leaving the original floors. When you're doing these old buildings, you uncover wonderful things. That soffit was never called for. I have a love affair with the 1800s and early 1900s. The arts have proved to be the favorite place I want to be. These buildings are in horrible shape, but they still are beautiful. Growing up in my family, my mother was an antique dealer. She bought vintage antique jewelry, and my father was an entrepreneur. He was a scientist. He started his own businesses. And one of those businesses was called U.S. Wind Power, which was the leading small company for wind power to have ever been done. Many of the things that he did paved the way for what we now have. He was the first one that ever did a wind farm. I've always had this profound feeling that this guy is doing things that are really good for the world. I mean, look what the wind power movement has done. I mean, he's in my opinion, he was one of the original pioneers and started that movement. So I've always had this admiration and appreciation for who he was. He wasn't meant to be a father, and he wasn't a good father. The same thing with my mother.
Her name is Vivian Wolfe. She's a housewife, a mother. She has 4 children, one of them a teenager, and she manages, in addition, to care for her husband, 1 dog, 7 cats, and the problems of scores of Lexington's teenagers.
My parents started a youth program in the local area where they would allow kids of my same age to come over from the high school, and they would discuss their problems. They had all of this love and affection to be able to give to the kids in the high school, but they would literally let these kids be at our house and be sending me up to my room to go to bed at 8:30 when all of my peers were downstairs enjoying my parents and drinking Cokes and discussing their problems and figuring out things. And that was very difficult for me, because then the kids would make fun of me at school because they weren't coming to my house to see me. They were coming to see my parents, who were cool.
We enjoy them a great deal. We like having them in our home. I think it would be awfully nice if some of you other citizens of Lexington would open your homes to Lexington youth and get to know them. We do feel very strongly that teenagers like to communicate with adults. We do think that they like to have an adult friend.
My father was constantly working. He had multiple businesses, and it's obvious that that's where his heart really was. He promised to do things with us, and then just wasn't there to do it. I was probably 12 or 13 years old. I was having a difficult time in school, and they were able to diagnose it, told me that I had dyslexia. Your father is one of the foremost inventors in the entire world. Here, I couldn't even get any knowledge out of a book. I couldn't learn anything. It just made you feel pretty awful. I can go through life and I have a qualified excuse why I can't do anything. But I chose not to have any obstacles. I'd watched my father build company after company, and nothing was ever in his way. And that attitude became prevalent in what I could do. So I started a cabinet making business, and I'm doing them in different colors, and I'm in the spray room. One of the boards that I had discarded in the trash with all of this different color paint, I picked the board out of the trash and I said, wow, what is this? I just started studying it and realized the paint had morphed into something quite beautiful, and it was the start. I had a real talent for it, and as that talent started to come out, other people recognized it, and that made me feel whole again. That made me feel like I actually had something that I could contribute. It was a turning point in my life. And when I came to this town, and I saw this town, which had these old buildings in it, many of them covered up, the buildings just spoke to me. They just spoke like that palette spoke to me in the trash. I just happened to be passing through. Couldn't help but notice the beauty in you. There were lines of age etched upon your face. You had a certain kind of beauty that can't be erased.
He knows that there's value there, and he doesn't want to see it disappear. If he didn't buy some of the buildings that he's purchased, they would be the subject of a wrecking ball, and that is completely demoralizing. These beautiful old towns are not going to stay beautiful if we let the history fall away.
You were a sight for sore eyes, and the way that it used to be. And you made a believer out of me.
He sees vision that I can't see. It takes that ability to forecast what is possible. He sees the possibility where others don't.
It's turned me around. This old town, once lost, is now found. And the dreamer in me clearly believes that this.
If we succeed at one thing, what it would be is for the community to see itself in the way Rusty sees the community.
Is meant for me. When I first came, doors were closed, buildings empty, as though time had froze. The days of glory, they were long gone. The only thing right was everything was wrong. I knew inside better days there will be.
So as these projects get completed and we change the downtowns, that is infectious.
It was in my dreams.
That rising tide lifts all ships.
Well, there may not be logs on
It brings the community together. They catch the fever, and we all benefit as a result.
This old town has turned me around. This old town, once lost, is now found. And the dreamer in me clearly believes that this old town, this old town was meant for me. Yeah, this old town was meant for me. You know, I'm 70 years old, and I am the most creative that I have ever been, and I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Starting on February 12th, when we learn that we're in the top 5, we have exactly 7 days to get millions of votes. We need everybody to vote every day on every device you have. Should you have more than one email address, you can vote every day from every email address you have on every device you have. Encourage your friends, your family, your networks, whoever's in your email box. Warm them up the first week of February, let them know this is coming, and encourage them to vote for Marinette Menominee.